Coming up, the July logistics for several sprint car teams could get interesting. We'll talk about that, plus XR shifts their schedule, the USAC Midget field grows, and more. Let's go. It's Tuesday, March 21st. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily. We were supposed to be getting the first of the midweek high-limit sprint car shows tonight, but the weather out in California ruined the season opener at Tulare, which we've already talked about. We knew this was canceled anyway. But now we have to wait until April 11th for the first high-limit race. That's a 50,000 to win show at Lakeside Speedway in Kansas. In the meantime, we've been tracking the list of drivers who are going to chase this first high-limit championship, and another name emerged yesterday. The series is having full-time teams and drivers sign some sort of agreement to get added benefits and kind of shore up these relationships, with teams needing to submit those agreements by April 1st. The first 4 signees were dropped yesterday, and not unexpectedly, the list included Kyle Larson, Buddy Kofoid, and Corey Eliason. All 3 we already knew were going to be full-time with the series. The 4th driver revealed, though, was Hunter Schuerenberg. This was the first time I'd seen his name associated with the series as a full-timer. It's not super surprising. I think he's definitely a guy we were no doubt going to see at some of these races anyway, but I think this is noteworthy because of the way the All-Star and high-limit schedules intersect, and we kind of touched on this before. Of the possible All-Star drivers who are also on the high-limit list, we knew about Justin Peck, although his schedule seems to be in question at the moment, and we also know that Tyler Courtney will attempt to run both as well. So Schuerenberg will be another driver who could potentially have to figure out the logistics of going from Red Hill Raceway in Illinois on July 23rd to Grandview Speedway in Pennsylvania on July 25th, and then back to Benton Speedway in Missouri on July 26th. It's something like a 1,700-mile round trip and probably 30 hours of driving if someone were kind of to attempt it with one team and one truck. If this does all indeed play out like this, I really hope the Flow Racing cameras are rolling so we can see how this all works out behind the scenes. Because it'll probably mean multiple race cars, maybe extra crew guys, some plane flights, maybe even extra teams to make this happen for guys trying to run for both titles. I originally thought nobody would attempt to be able to do this and be able to make the turnaround happen, but now we could maybe have at least 3 try it. We'll see what other names end up signing on the dotted line with high limit in the coming days. It might end up being more than this. Definitely something to keep an eye on as we get into the summertime. The springtime schedule changes continue to roll in, and the most recent weather-related victim is the opening weekend for the XR Super Series. They were supposed to be at Volunteer Speedway this coming weekend. That was going to be a co-sanction with the Ironman Series and a $100,000 to win main event. Cold weather, though, and wet conditions, stop me if you heard this before, have forced the event to move, with the action now scheduled for April 14th and 15th. That April weekend was originally the date for the XR show at Off-Road Speedway in Nebraska, but that event has been shifted to July 24th and 25th. In addition, the new XR Working Man Series has added a date on April 11th at Volunteer that is $10,000 to win and $1,000 to start. So big XR show at Volunteer, now April 14th and 15th. Off-Road move to July 24th and 25th. Working Man race on April 11th. With the shift now, that early part of April in Tennessee will be pretty sweet if you're a dirt late model fan. I saw XR's Jackson Braun post this, but you've got Kyle Larson's Late Model Challenge at Volunteer on April 6th. That's $20,000 to win. 2 days later is $21,000 to win at Tazewell with the Ironman Series and Spring Nationals. Then $10K to win on Tuesday, April 11th at Volunteer, followed by the XR 100K to win show. It's going to be a great little 10-day stretch for the super late model folks in kind of that Tennessee area. To see the full release from XR, more details, head over to xrsuperseries.com. The 2023 full-time field for the USAC Midget Series changed as well yesterday. It grew by 1 with the addition of Ohio driver Jacob Denney. He'll take on the full schedule for car owner Tom Malloy and crew chief Jerome Rodella. Denney made 8 starts with Malloy late last season, ran a sizable schedule also with Mount Stout. He won his first ever USAC Midget race during Indiana Midget Week. That happened at Lincoln Park. He ran 28 of 32 races in 2022, finished 8th in the point standings as a rookie, so this season will be his sophomore run. Besides that win at Lincoln Park, Denney had 8 top 5s and 14 top 10s, an average feature finish of 11.15. Looking around, I believe he's the 7th driver to kind of declare for the series as a full-timer publicly to this point. We know about Logan Seavey, Chance Crum, Dazen Pursley, Ryan Timms, Taylor Reimer, and Bryant Wiedemann, along with Denney. And looking at the field, I'd also assume that Justin Grant and Thomas Meserole will be back. We don't know about Cannon McIntosh and Mitchell Moles. We know Cannon is running the full extreme slate, so I don't know why he wouldn't also add the full USAC schedule as well. And Moles was out all year in 2022 with Chad Bode, ending up as the top rookie, but he just ran 2 weekends ago for Keith Coons at DuQuoin, so I'm unsure of his plans, which already included the full USAC sprint car schedule with Ryan Bolt Underwood. As of today, we're exactly 1 month until the USAC Midget season opener at Kokomo Speedway. That takes place on April 21st. So still plenty of time for more full-time teams to emerge here. I did finally get a chance to watch the Jonathan Davenport documentary piece from Flow Racing. Really well done by Matt Dillner and Rob Blount and all the folks at Flow. There's some nice background stuff in there on JD about kind of his journey coming up through racing. I really like the stuff with his wife, Rachel. Kind of showed the side of racing you don't often get to see. That's one of the things I think we probably don't talk about enough around motorsports is the sacrifice that everyone makes around the racing. The wives, the husbands, the kids, family members, of the people who have decided to make this a career or a huge part of their lives. All the time that they're away, the holidays they miss, the big events. So it was kind of nice to see that side of it. We watched JD win over $2 million in a season, and we think it's all great. But, at home, he's got a wife and a son who are watching this thing on Flow Racing just like we are. I do wish, though, there were a few more kind of mic'd up moments. We saw one with Gordy Gundaker, and we got that little confrontation with Tyler Erb at World Finals. Really interesting to see those sides of Davenport and kind of a peek into what are, usually conversations that are happening away from the cameras. The ranch down in South Carolina that the Davenports has built is quite the place with all the Longhorn cattle there. Pretty cool. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend giving it a watch. It's only 40 minutes, and I think you'll enjoy it, even if you aren't a JD fan or aren't a late model fan. It's on Flow Racing, should be pretty easy to find. The streaming schedule today is just Flow Racing 24/7 and Dirt Vision now. If you want to see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. Obviously, a very good place to go each day, depending on what's happening with rainouts and cancellations. We'll try to keep up with those best we can as things kind of happen and play out over the coming days. This part of the spring has just been obviously brutal for a lot of the races. If you want to support what I'm doing here, make sure to sign up for Dirt Tracker Plus. You can become a channel member. You can grab some merch like the t-shirt I'm wearing over at shop.dirttracker.com. Also, like and subscribe to this video. That is absolutely free and helps out the channel. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you guys have a good Tuesday out there. We'll be right back here tomorrow.